So this is part 8 of Federalist number 1. In the last part, we talked about Alexander Hamilton and Federalist number 1 saying, don't be fooled by the people who criticize this Constitution, because they either want to accumulate power in their own hands, and they're afraid that if they were to accumulate power, they could be powerful in 1 or 2 or 3 states and try to make a confederacy out of them, whether it's in the north or in the middle of America or in the south. So don't be fooled by them. And another thing that he mentioned, he says that they might be able to take advantage of the confusion that's in this country. Why is he talking about the confusion? Because to conduct the war, the Revolutionary War, the Continental Congress, or the Congress of the United States during the war, as well as different states, they had to borrow a lot of money. And they were issuing paper money. It's not like the dollar bills or the bills that you see in your countries. They were issuing paper money without having any gold or anything in the bank to back it up. So it was not really legitimate money in a sense. So because of that, there was a lot of money out there that, let's say, if in the paper and said it's worth 10 pounds, you would find that it was only worth 2 pounds or 3 pounds. So it had depreciated a lot. Because of that, there was a lot of confusion. A lot of people were buying this cheap money and holding it so that maybe one day they could take advantage of the situation and get a lot of money for it. That's why, that's why Hamilton says, don't be fooled by these people that are going to take advantage of the financial situation. So we go here to the next paragraph, and it says, it is not, however, my design to dwell upon the observations of this nature. I am well aware that it would be disingenuous to resolve indiscriminately the opposition of any set of men, merely because their situation might subject them to suspicion into interested or ambitious views. He says, I'm not going to blame everybody out there that is criticizing this country, this Constitution, That's not what I mean to do. Because there are good people amongst these people that criticize us. And then he continues with, candor will oblige us to admit that even such men may be actuated by upright intentions, that even these men that are criticizing this Constitution, they might really be doing it because they love this country. It's not that they don't love this country, but they just might be mistaken. They're upright people, they're honest, they mean well. And then he continues, and it can not be doubted that much of the opposition which has made its appearance, or may hereafter make its appearance, will spring from sources blameless at least, if not respectable, the honest errors of mind led astray by preconceived jealousies and fears. Okay, one thing you will learn, that every time you hear the word jealousy while we're reading the Federalist Papers, it doesn't mean jealous like we say someone is jealous now. It means usually when you have doubt about something, you're doubtful about something, or you're concerned about something and really concerned, maybe to the extreme. So it doesn't mean the way we use it now, but when you have doubts about something, you're concerned about something. So he says we should not think that everybody is criticizing us. They are doing it out of malice. They're doing it because they mean us harm. They just might actually be reasoning wrong, but it's not because they have a bad heart. It's just that they are not seeing things clearly. So we should be thoughtful, and we should keep that in mind, and we should not just point fingers at everybody that criticizes us and call them somebody who doesn't love his or her country. So numerous indeed and so powerful are the causes which serve to give false bias to the judgment, that we, upon many occasions, see wise and good men on the wrong as well as on the right side of questions of the first magnitude to the society. It says that we'll see that a lot of well-meaning people, a lot of people with good intentions that can be on the wrong side of the thing or on the right side of the thing. That may, even good people may be wrong, and even bad people may be right. So he says we have to keep our minds open and not look at every criticism that comes our way as if somebody is our enemy. Then he continues, this circumstance, if duly attended to, if we pay good attention to this circumstance, would furnish a lesson of moderation to those who are ever so thoroughly persuaded of their being in the right and in their being in the right in any controversy. So this will teach us to be humble, to be wise, and not assume that we are always right. We can be wrong too. So it's a lesson in moderation. You have to be a person that is moderate, thoughtful. Don't go to the extremes. And a further reason for caution in this respect might be drawn from the reflection that we are not always sure that those who advocate the truth are influenced by purer principles than their antagonists. And here he's being very, very truthful. He says we should not forget that even those who might be right about a subject, who might be telling the right thing about a subject, they don't necessarily are always honest people. They don't necessarily are kind of people that don't have any bad intentions. Just because they're right about one thing, it doesn't mean they always have good intentions. So it's a lesson in humility. He says that everybody, whether we think they're on the right or wrong, could be on the wrong side. Ambition, avarice, personal animosity, party opposition, and many other motives not more laudable than these are apt to operate as well upon those who support as upon those who oppose the right side of a question. Every time you hear these words, ambition, avarice, things like these are very, very negative at the time of the writing of the Constitution. They have negative connotations. It means these are people who are usually, whether financially or because they want power, because they want control, they don't have the good intention of wanting the society, wanting the good things for the society. They're always thinking of themselves. So he says, things like ambition, avarice, and even being attracted to a group of people who think politically like you. It could happen to anybody. So he's being very honest. He's talking about human nature. And as we go along, I'll tell you a little bit more about the influence of Christianity, or at least the 18th century Christianity, upon the view that all these founders, or most of them, had towards human nature. It's very important to look at their sense of how they would say human beings are depraved. That a lot of the influence, the way they were influenced by the Christianity of the time, by some of the Puritan thought of the time, and also other trends in Christianity. So we'll have to talk about that because it's very important. And over here, Hamilton says this ambition, avarice, everything that's might be good for a person but bad for a society, that is like a disease. Anybody can get it. So keep that in mind, and we'll come back and continue with this paragraph.